Well, with Nigeria set to be technically out of recession after recording 0.11% growth in the fourth quarter of 2020, economic managers, analysts, and stakeholders have been speaking on the need to develop strategic policies to sustain the growth trajectory. They have warned against the temptation to be carried away by the exit from recession. Of course, we're having this conversation with the CEO of Espera Global Corporation, Dr. Glenn Prince Abbey, who joins us now from our Abuja studio. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Abbey, for joining us on the program. Well, today, Nigeria, of course, is receiving its vaccine. And yes, Nigeria is out of recession, but how prepared is the country for further growing the economy?
Well, thank you, Chimeze, for having me here again. It's my delight to comment on this. It's really good news that we are out of the recession, but then this is not time for complacency. This is not time for sitting on our oars. We have not achieved much. We just escaped, the recession. So this is time to put together and implement solid strategies that can actually increase the rate of our acceleration from the escape from recession, I would say. Now, what do we do? First of all, let us look at what some countries, the fact that a lot of countries are doing so much regarding a post-COVID-19 economy. So this is a time to look at various sectors of economy, particularly the growth-enhancing areas of our economy. Now, we're talking about the fact that, for instance, even the vaccines are in now, and that's very good news. All of these now mean that this is a time to start to develop the right strategies for growing the economy. Now, in terms of growing the economy, as I always like to say, we should visit aspects of the production aspects of the Nigerian economy, production in terms of areas that show promise for manufacturing, areas that show promise in terms of various value chain activities that whereby the Nigerian economy can place solid products in the global marketplace, in the African global trade. We need to assert leadership because we're Africa's largest economy, Africa's largest population, and we just escaped recession, which other countries are still in and all that. So this is a time to visit our production enhancing activities. I expect government not to relax, and in fact, it's also advantageous for us also because oil price is also at a comfortable level, and there tends to be some level of growth in terms of oil price. So that's a big advantage for us, and a lot of investments have been done, are still being done by the federal government in the areas of infrastructure and all that. So this is a time to actually start to work on various aspects of production that the economy, the Nigerian economy can provide in the global marketplace. We have the infrastructure that continues to improve, that there more and more investments are occurring and all that. How do we build our production? How do we build production in terms of manufacturing, various areas of manufacturing that can enable us put products of international quality, global standard quality products in the African marketplace, as well as, of course, why not, in the global marketplace. So the more of that we do as a country, the more of that we do in a focused way, I expect at this time, because of the urgency of the moment, that there will be an office within, I don't know whether within the president or whatever, where you see Gantt charts of activities in terms of various sectors, the production sectors of economy, Gantt charts. This is where we are, this is what we want to be, this is where we're headed, and this is between this time, this is the level of production we can achieve and all that. So if we put all that in place and put them in some kind of, acceleration mode, you see that what we'll achieve is that within the space of between now and 2021, or between now and the maximum 18 months, you see the Nigerian economy becoming a clear example for growth that can be a case study even anywhere in the world, So I think that the growth enhancing sectors of the economy, this is where the federal government and even state governments should start to visit and see how we can deliver
Dr. Glenn,
in those areas. That is what will accelerate our departure from the recession, we must ensure that it is accelerated. We should not actually sit on our oars as far as
All right, Dr. Glenn,
escaping from the recession is concerned.
At the moment, inflation is at its highest, and household income of common Nigerians is less and less adequate to meet with the needs of the family. What is your perspective on this?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you well.
No, I said that at the moment, inflation rate is at its highest, and common Nigerians are finding it less and less adequate to meet with the needs of the family. So I'm wondering, what is your perspective?
Well, the point is that is very true because, so much is happening in terms of inflation. If you ask for my perspective on this, first of all, we can start to understand or review the causative factors, regarding the inflation. One of the major factors, of course, is the fact that, okay, we're coming from the COVID-19 experience. COVID-19 is still very much in place and a lot of restrictions are still on ground. But peculiar to Nigeria are additional factors such as security. The case of banditry and kidnappings and all that, particularly in the northern part of the country. And we have now come to realize very clearly that, of course, the north feeds the country. So now if there is problem of security and the security challenges occur right where the farmers are, a number of farmers are having to pay bandits and all that and kidnappers, they have to pay some fees to be able to harvest and things like that. So these are affecting, the price of food items, and inflation continue to shoot up and all that. I don't know where this will stop. I don't know at what point it is going to stop. But the point is, the federal government has to do something regarding security, because security is no more just security as what we have been comfortably looking at in the past few years. But now even our food security is being deeply affected. So the security challenges of the country in terms of the banditry we're having, kidnapping cases we're having now, is now affecting food security. So the average availability of food for homes in Nigeria are directly affected by the security issues, because the farmers can only do the best they can within the context of what security issues permit them to carry out their activities. So this is a major problem that we are facing. I really don't know how we can get out of this, but government should do a lot. First of all, broaden the security strategy in terms of reaching out in such a way that the problem of banditry and kidnapping, especially as they affect local producers, local farmers and all that, must be addressed urgently. Otherwise, the rate of inflation will continue to go up. Because you mentioned household income, so we are looking what is actually worsening the inflation. The inflation case is actually cost of food items. So food security is affected, and it is from the case of banditry and all that is the major security challenge that we're facing, particularly in the northern part of the country.
Now, the country is also experiencing huge deficit in infrastructure. How do you think the banks, in particular, can support infrastructure investment in Nigeria without jeopardizing their funds?
This is a very interesting case, because what you have asked excites me, because I've always been of the position. I've done lots of consulting for the banking industry, locally and internationally, and we have come to the realization that Nigerian banks need to improve their level of capability and competence in terms of project financing. In the area of project financing, Nigerian banks are not measuring well, because project financing call for a level of patience, a little more long-term than trade financing, okay? So the banking industry needs to start to go through a process of capacity building to strengthen their awareness, to strengthen their lexicon, to strengthen their capabilities in the area of project financing, so that they can start to participate more actively in the area of infrastructure investment in supporting the infrastructure aspects of the economy, and that is key. And I'm particularly delighted over the fact that a couple of weeks ago, the federal government announced the formation of Infracore, so Infrastructure Company of Nigeria and all that. And that will help because it will now provide a pool. And in this pool, the commercial banks and other banks, even other funding agencies, other money managers, fund managers across the world can actually start to participate in that. So I think the infrastructure company, the infrastructure corporation that the federal government is putting together is going to help and strengthen the level of aggression, the level of urgency, the level of participation in the area of infrastructure development. Yes, there's still a lot of deficit infrastructure financing. So far, it's the federal government that's doing it all alone, and loans are being taken and Nigerians are complaining. But from my perspective, from what I understand, we are not even anywhere near what other countries like South Africa and United Kingdom and all that are doing in the area of infrastructure funding and all that. Infrastructure funding is the future because it's infrastructure that provides the platform for you to carry out various aspects of economic activities. So with all that we're talking about in terms of production, in terms of manufacturing and all that, if its infrastructure is low, infrastructure availability is less than world class, would also be less than world class in terms of what we put in the global marketplace as products.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Glenn Abi, for sharing your thoughts with us on this program. We always appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. It's my delight to be here with you again. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.